Hey guys, and welcome to Relationship Therapy. Today we have a cheating revenge story from one of my subscribers that I will walk you through with, and afterwards I'll give my opinion and advice to this subscriber on how to deal with this situation. Here we go. Me, 49 male wife, 48 female, left the family for her affair partner a year ago, but now she says she wants to fix things. My wife and I have been married for just over 9 years. We have an 8-year-old son together. She was a full-time sasham after our son was born. However, in April 2019, she went back into the workforce working part-time as an assistant for a manager at a medical software sales company. She was bummed that she wasn't pulling in a lot in terms of salary, but I was happy for her because I hoped that a job would be motivating for her. She had already complained that she wished I could be more spontaneous and interesting, but despite attempts at counseling, she could never explain what interesting meant. However, 3 months into her job, I found her to be a more happy person, less critical of everything I do, and a more patient mother to our son. Our intimate life had basically been dead for around 5 years, and she had shown interest in recharging that. What I didn't know was that she had begun an affair with a surgeon, now 53 male. She met at a medical conference. Her job involves travel to go to medical conferences and visit clinics and hospitals. The surgeon lived in a nearby big city, and she would use work as an excuse to see him. This went on behind my back, as she would later tell me, from July 2019 to around April 2020, when she admitted that her work was much more remote during COVID than she had convinced me it was, and she had been driving to see her AP. She told me the AP was interesting and he was everything that I wasn't, meaning he made a lot of money, had lucrative side businesses with his family, and lectured around the country and loved to travel and enjoy life. She said she regretted becoming a mom because it has made her stay with me for the greater part of a decade and that she needed time to think. She told me to not follow her and had already loaded up her car and left to stay in a room that she was subletting from a friend. I was left to deal with the fallout, including my son's troubling levels of anxiety and his increased inability to get along with anyone in school. He's cried himself to sleep, thinking he's unlovable, and my wife refused to return calls. The only thing she did do was send me a letter establishing the date of separation and her intention to file for divorce a year from the date of separation. People are all telling me to file for divorce as soon as our state lets us, and tell the court that my wife abandoned the family. 5 months ago, she tried to get me to sign a separation agreement with bogus terms, which I refused and decided to go see a lawyer. Then 2 months ago, she started talking to me about how she wants to be more civil with me from now on. Then last week, she asked to meet. She starts crying and saying her AP was abusive and that he told her that he was divorcing his wife of 3 years, 26 female, who he was separated from. Turns out the wife was in another city finishing up her final year of graduate school, but when she found out about the affair, she went psycho, and the AP stood by and did nothing as his wife called my wife's employer, which caused her to have to leave her job. He merely admitted that he did adore his wife and wanted to let her follow her dreams, but had a hard time dealing with long distance, and pretty much admitted that his wife said she was okay with him having one-night stands, but he regrets hurting her now and for letting it drag on. Before we continue, please like and subscribe if you enjoy the video. The AP also said nothing when his wife texted my wife that he was not leaving her and that they would file restraining orders if she ever contacted them again. My wife said that she had a moment of insanity and that she was willing to get therapy, but that at no point did she intend to be malicious and that she was a victim of his lies. She said she was struggling and said she wanted to move back in and be a family again. What do I do? How do I deal with someone who has caused so much pain? If we're cohabitating again, I can't guarantee that I won't develop feelings for her again. Most importantly, I don't know how to deal with this in a way to inflict the least trauma on my son. I had been prepared to respond to a divorce petition, but my wife said she'd lose it if I filed right now, and said she just wanted to find the love we once had. Never be someone's second choice. Get a good lawyer and follow their advice. Keep contact minimal, civil, and only related to the child. Get your son some good therapy as soon as possible. Your lawyer should make sure she pays for half of it. Yeah, she's coming back because the AP and his wife booted her. She wouldn't have come back otherwise. If you let her come back, she'll leave when she found someone interesting again. You deserve better, and above all, your son deserves better. Letting her come back for your son is a mistake. It won't make him happier. She did abandon him, so file for divorce and custody because you know she'll abandon him again. You're going to traumatize your son all over again if you let her move back in like nothing happened. Also, do not sleep with her for old time's sake or some BS because she'll end up pregnant if she isn't already from AP, just to make you stay with her longer. This is the most important point of all. Op's child is suffering because his mother radically detached herself from her own child. I actually think OP has been a little lax if they haven't already gotten their son therapy, but that's a side point. If OP was to use even a single scrap of energy normalizing this person who abandoned them both, it's just straight up bad parenting and reinforcing that being mistreated is normal. The worst part is she abandoned their child along with the marriage. If OP loves his son, he will do the right thing and keep that selfish woman away so that she never gets the chance to abandon him again. She only wants OP to house her and pay the bills until she finds the next interesting man. Yes, this was what really got to me. Fundamentally, there is no need to unpack how he feels about her now, what her reasoning was, any of that crap. She hurt the kid. She abandoned the kid. She harmed him so much it's disrupting his ability to socialize. She left him feeling unlovable. She wouldn't even speak to him on the phone. There is no way on earth she should be allowed to waltz back into that child's life. The kid needs to be protected from her self-centered bullshit. Interpersonal stuff between adults can be worked out if both parties are willing to try, though I personally think it's a mistake to settle for being a cheat's backup plan. Adults get to take risky, emotional decisions like that. When a child's well-being is part of the situation, it stops being about the parents' feelings for each other as soon as the child will be harmed by what they want. This exactly. OP, your wife, didn't have a moment of insanity or was a victim of lies. She's acting like the victim now because her selfish plans didn't work out, and now she has no place or money to fall back on. The only victims here are you and your son. She didn't give a crap about her son's well-being. She only cared about herself and no one else. She belongs to the streets. If she wants to do therapy, she can do that on her own period. It didn't work out with her AP and she doesn't want to be alone. But the worst part is how she abandoned your child, and you're thinking about inviting that mess in again. You're the backup plan, and you're going to damage your son. Sir, your wife spit on your marriage vows and abandoned her child. When she walked out the door, she didn't give a damn about blowing up your family and the mental and emotional trauma she was causing your son. Your wife doesn't respect you. If she had, she wouldn't have cheated. She looked you in the face while she slept with another man behind your back and you were clueless. She took you for a fool and got a thrill out of deceiving you and humiliating you. Then she rejected you and casted you off. Everything she's put you and your son through, and you let her slither back into your home? If you don't respect yourself, why should your wife? She will never stop cheating on you, the love you had. Does she remember saying she wished she never had your son because he tied her to you? And may meet another AP and again desert your family and discard your marriage. More importantly, she'll upend your son's life again, destroying him. You would be a poor parent to allow your wife to injure your son in that way. She has done nothing for your forgiveness. She's taken no accountability for what she's done to your family. She blames her AP. He didn't force her to denigrate you and neglect your son. The only reason she's back is because her AP dumped her. She never had any intention on returning, ever.